Welcome back to Two Chord Camp Songs for Ukulele. My name is Ryan Taylor, and today we will be tackling Alice the Camel. Just a little bit of a note about the percussion here. We're going to flick across the strings above the nut, get this little percussive sound, and then we're going to knock on the upper bout, then we're going to knock on the upper lower, and then the lower, and then the lower upper bout. And we get this little percussive thing where we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that becomes one less every verse. So it's only 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1. And finally none, right? Because it's Alice the Camel has no humps. I know it's not printed on the music, but that's how the last verse goes. So here we go. We've got a third string, open C is our first note, and our first chord is a C chord. And let's see if we can get through this. 1, 2, ready, and Alice the camel has 5 humps. Alice the camel has 5 humps. Alice the camel has 5 humps, so go, Alice, go. Boom, boom, boom. Alice the camel has 4 humps. Alice the camel has 4 humps. Alice the camel has 4 humps, so go, Alice, go. Boom, boom, boom. Alice the camel has 3 humps. Alice the camel has 3 humps. Alice the camel has 3 humps, so go, Alice, go. Boom, boom, boom. Alice the camel has 2 humps. Alice the camel has 2 humps. Alice the camel has 2 humps, so go, Alice, go. Boom, boom, boom. Alice the camel has 1 hump. Alice the camel has 1 hump. Alice the camel has 1 hump, so go, Alice, go. Boom, boom, boom. Alice the camel has no humps. Alice the camel has no humps. Alice the camel has no humps, so Alice is a horse. All right, so there you go. Alice the camel. So there's nothing really too challenging about that other than remembering how many beats you're doing and just sort of coordinating yourself. Inevitably, when you're teaching this to a group of people, you have a bunch of them, messing up here and there, and that just adds to the hilarity of it rather than detracts and makes anybody feel bad. And so it's kind of funny. And most people really do enjoy using their ukulele as a percussion instrument for a change. And there are many different ways to use the ukulele percussively. This is just scratching the surface here. But we have those 4 places that we can tap on our ukulele, and then we have that little scratch noise that we make across above. Sort of a little tinkling strings thing, right? Okay. And so, anyway, as far as strumming goes, you noticed I was just doing percussive strums a lot of the time. So I was just doing a down and then putting my hands on the string. And that, so Alice, 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 right? Alice the camel has 5 humps. Now, what you're doing is you're strumming across the string, and then you're just laying your hand down on top of the strings. And that seems easy enough, but you do have to practice it because you don't want it to go too fast, right? And you don't want it to go too slow, right? So you got to practice getting the right amount of staccato in there. And I think that's a good amount right there. Alice the camel has 5 humps. Alice the camel has 5 humps, right? And then just adding in the percussion in between all the different humps, it just makes it kind of fun. Now, on Go Alice Go, I switched it up so that I was doing Go Alice Go, right? boom, boom, boom. Now, that's just the common strum. So down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down, up, down. All right? So that's just the common strum. And if we need to review that really quick, it is down, down, up, over, up, down, up, right? And so the common strum is one that you really, really want to practice and get down, because you can throw it in places, even if it's just for a measure like that, to give life and propel things forward. So we've been doing this. If I start on the second line, Alice the camel has 5 humps, so go, Alice, go. Boom, boom, boom. And that really propels that go, Alice, go forward quite a bit. So there's Alice the Camel. It's not difficult. It just requires a little bit of practice, a little bit of thinking ahead, a little bit of coordination, which is the truth about just about anything when it comes to playing and singing at the same time, right? So next time we're going to tackle Chumbara, and this is just kind of a funny song, so it's very easy. So hopefully we'll see you for the next episode, and until then, I hope you have a wonderful day. Yukon.